Hey, hey, hey. Uh, well, thank you for tuning in tonight. I actually was not expecting to stream, but things kind of aligned. Uh, the moon was out, so I actually posted on my Discord on Patreon this morning that I have been thinking about the individuals who cannot beat the control matchup. Personally, I think the control matchup is fine, but I think the majority of the players who are on this deck have a hard time against control specifically. I think they do typically very well against tempo. I'm talking about the average player, right? Like they do typically very well against tempo. They do okay against Stompy, like depending on the draws. Obviously, being on the play matters. I think the combo matchup has definitely been improved in the last few years, ever since, especially after going to like an artisan based build. Um, I think the only matchups I don't really want to see that are combo are ones that like bypass endurance completely. And even then, a lot of those matchups now are randomly hit by pick your poison, which was formerly force of vigor. So, like, I think the best combo matchups for us are definitely the graveyard based ones, like Reanimator or Scaminator, are both pretty good. I think something like a dredge is probably the most favorable. So anytime you see uh, Van Gogh do well, make sure to retweet him so there's more dredge players out there, or something like a madness deck, right? Those are typically our best combo matchups. The artifact based ones are okay too because of collector oof, but they obviously do some have like dismember and whatnot. I think the player base, like I said, struggle the most against control, and I think a lot of that is because the control players I play against, that I've watched at least, they tend to be pretty good. Like I don't want to like stereotype between different archetypes, but the control players on average I find to be better, to put it frankly, and I think maybe some of our pilots are maybe getting outplayed in the mid game or late game. Uh, and if you are unable to, outplay or at least play on the same level as your control pilot, and especially since they have a draw engine and we don't, I think that doesn't bode well. And I can see how games are lost. So the way to shorten that is to make sure you have fewer turns that matter and see fewer cards that matter. And while I don't necessarily like love playing Blood Moon, I think that is the way you beat control at the moment, where you just can they answer this bomb? And I'm only playing a modest 3 copies. One Magus to tutor for, but I think if you really want to be control, I'd probably play 4, just like cut the invigorate or something. But just to make it more reasonable, let's try 3, just so we don't like contort our sideboard completely, right? And then play the one Taiga because we have space for it now. I've done some drastic things to the mana base as a result of Underground Mortuary, some of which I think some people will say is blasphemous and maybe even I could go to jail for treason, right? Cutting the second arbor, cutting the second bayou, cutting the lair of the hydra. Like these are things that were unfathomable maybe even a week ago, and now this card, Underground Mortuary, the Surveil Land, has just completely changed our mana base, and uh, I think might be the best addition to the deck. Or maybe best is not the right word, but most important addition to the deck since Endurance. That's how good this has been. Obviously the Attrax edition has been huge as well, but this you know the alternative is just like not to play the progenitor slot or play percentage in the sideboard. We'll see how it goes. I didn't want to be somebody who advertised a plan and just like not test it myself. So for fun, we're gonna try to moon people tonight. We'll see how it goes. I'm playing against somebody who's 1-3. I'm not sure I love that. Typically, we do bad in the 1-3 bracket. I think Swarm is good. Personally as well. I don't have any issues with it. It's like sure, why not? I think it's fine. I recently added back the Invigorate because I wanted another card that was relevant against Tomb decks. And thank you for the subscription, Ming by Chris. So Harry, to answer your question, I think it's fine. I think I just wanted the extra help against like Tomb decks. I don't have any problem with Swarm. I think the first copy is actually very good, um, specifically against Delver and Control. Probably more Delver than anything else, right? Like, for actually, shout out to Harry too, by the way. For those who don't know, he 5-0'd his first two leagues with this deck. So, I mean, I'm not surprised. Harry's a solid player, and I think a lot of the skills from Maverick translates over very well. So there's that. Plateau. If I were to guess, at no turn one play, probably Painter, but I mean, I don't know for sure. I'm gonna play the Reclaimer, and they try to. So I can play the Mortuary, but that's like kind of being greedy, I think. Or just bash and see what happens. We can go for the full blowout here, but it's the percentage is actually kind of low. Sure. Not to mention that could happen, right? I think the fact that they swords now incentivizes me to play out the shepherd. So let's do that. I put them on, like I said, Painter, right? Like, I think it probably still is, based on that land. Sure. This bog's randomly useful right now, which is funny. Uh, Actually, I take that back. Well, Plateau suggests Painter, but if not, like I know the red black Phyrexian Devourer deck is pretty popular. Actually, the question here is, do I attack 2/3? I get a Grist. That feels like it's better, and just like have blockers up. Actually, yeah, let's do that. I could cut off the land too, which is like kind of interesting. Okay, I gotta like prioritize. I gotta play this better. Like I missed 2 damage because I didn't decide what I wanted to do. I'm like going for the. This is the night of cheese plays, right? Like it wouldn't be in the right spirit. We just don't go for a free win here. Just like cut them off the red. Maybe they Fury us here. That'd be unfortunate, but what are you gonna do? I think it's like a 2 of anyways. Uh, let's see. Yeah, let's do that. Let's keep the endurance up. Bin. There's no reason to just lose the game here. Because I got greedy and didn't keep endurance up. Sure. There's no reason to just lose the game here. There we go. Paid off. Alright, we're gonna hit for a lot right now. Is there a reason here to keep this up? No, just it's bash. They're furious, they're furious. Like, what are you gonna do? Sure, sure. We have lethal here. Okay. In case they're somehow sandbagging the planes, I don't. Let's see. Do we have lethal through swords? Well, they sword. Actually, that's. Do we have? Sorry. Do we have lethal through that? And that's 5. Okay. There's no downside to doing this right now. I guess. Bin. I guess. Yeah. Put in the graveyard. All right. That's game. So the funny thing about this is our opponent is on the Blood Moon next. I don't think we board it in here. I can board out the Invigorate and the Shepherds. They don't do anything. Gris, I'm actually lower on that than I am like maybe ever in this matchup because I just don't think that this is what the matchup is about. Like usually, hey, how's it going? Or M-Hawk. I actually think the way we lose is against Saga, but I don't want to board in Moons against a deck that probably will board in Moons against us. Like somebody will be wrong, right? I think Jailer's probably fine to cut off their shenanigans. I think the one Fairy's probably fine. I don't like Siege, Tempo negative. Snuff Out I'm lower on now because, again, I think we lose the Saga if anything. So this is like reasonable. I think because they have Swords of Plowshares, we want to keep Huff in. And then, and I think that's reasonable. Why? This is like a double mole, right? Like the art natural orders are turned off as well, sort of. Um, I don't like. I don't really like having this in my open hand because I think the way we beat these kind of decks with Fury is to slow play, and I don't. I think this being our hand means that we kind of have to walk into Fury. I don't like that. So let's try to mull. Significantly better. Yeah, it's fine. Sure thing, no problem. Good luck on Sunday. If I don't hear from you beforehand, we'll fetch the basic. These kind of decks often bring in Moon against us. So if they do nothing, that's a hint that they have Fury. They kill our thing, and they probably don't have it. Uh, do nothing here. Okay. If they have a sword and they're just holding it, just like for our relevant stuff, it's gonna feel silly that they sword this thing and then we can't like two combo next turn. Alright, let's do this and pass. We'll give them the 2 for 1. I mean 2 for 2 if they want it. There's no need to commit more than this. We have natural order through 1 removal next turn. If they fury, this is gonna induce. This should induce the fury if they have it. There's an argument to be made actually relieve up mana too, like to bluff endurance. That actually I think it might be correct. Yeah, I think the bluff of hardcast endurance may make our opponent think twice about going for the goblin engineer play. Okay, there's the pyrokinesis. We'll float in response. So heads up play there. They force. If we had the endurance, it would have mattered, because then they let us let it go, so to speak. So what I didn't want to happen was our opponent play a spot removal, so and we feel silly because just because we got scared of getting 2 for 2 with pyrokinesis. All right, let's boom. Now we're gonna just play everything. We can't play around a second pyro. Yeah, this is what I was afraid of, right? If they have like a sword, they sword the thing, then we can't natural order. Like we need to be able to beat 1 removal spell. What do they have? We can beat 1 more removal spell. 3 mana. What is being tapped here? Sure. Maybe a red blast. I don't think so though, but who knows? I don't care. All right. Once Green Sun Fiend seems reasonable. Done. And then, oh, I didn't get a land. That is a bad mistake, but on my behalf. Okay. Let's try not to punt like we just did. They have 2 welders. That's like super annoying. Oh my god. We can beat one, but not two. Have to let it through. Yikes. That is some draw. Endurance wasn't one of the options, was it? Did we get greedy here? No, we didn't. It is what it is. I think we have no choice. We're gonna lose here if they just hold up the welder. I think we have to force it out, and it's gonna feel real bad, but like we're gonna have to try to hit their yard right now, and then they're gonna do it in response. Actually, what am I doing? That's not correct. I forgot the jailer in here, which is like relevant right now, but yeah, actually, you have swords. It's awful, but no, I like screwed this up royally. We're gonna take 5 randomly here, but this is like soft to swords though. But I guess so is our board right now. I like sure. Oh, I guess it dies? How does that work? Interesting. Oh, I guess I'm like screwing this up big time. What's a good interaction to realize though? Didn't think about that. I like screwed that up though because I was supposed to ferry so I don't lose the game. Now I'm gonna lose the game. Whether tapped out. I punted like 5 times right now. Sure. Like punted like 5 different ways right now. All right, let's concede. Embarrassment of punches. Punts right now. Not beating that. All right, let's try not to screw that up the way we did right now, like 4 different ways. I think I like how I boarded. My first match of the night, for those who don't know, tends not to go very well. That was a disaster right now, the way I played that. But I think I actually win that game easily if I don't like punt beyond belief right there. Let's go noble. They're playing pyrokinesis, which means they're probably heavy on like sweepers. Like usually it's fury before pyrokinesis, so they probably like 5 of those effects or 6 even. Why would they lead with Petal? Um, like, do I care? I feel like we should still save this for Saga. Like, I don't know if we actually care about the dumb Petal. Why would they play it main? I'm trying to just figure out why would they play it main phase there. Alright, we're gonna try to get lucky here. We need to hit a land off the surveil. Not a land, but at least it feels the art. Well, are we gonna go back to back artisans? That's like reasonable, I guess. Put that in the graveyard too, I guess. It's not unreasonable. Now I'm kind of happy I saved that pick your poison. No need to attack. Oh my god. I think I boarded out Gris, which is awful. I don't think I have an answer for that. Like, I'm gonna lose to this unhinged deck. Jesus. Feels bad. We got random priests out of this deck. Alright, I guess we just bash. Like, what are we gonna do? Maybe they walk into the endurance. Who the heck knows? Actually, that explains it. Like, why they would play Petal. Like, maybe I should have had a read, right? Like, usually they don't have priests because it like interacts with their own engineering shenanigans, but sweet. Okay. No, nowhere to ice the priest. They did have the swords. Did they get us on their turn too? With their priest? What did they do? They cast. No, that was last game, I think. Exile Fable with Mirror. What does that mean? What the heck just happened? What is going on? Oh, is that the interaction with Priest? I don't know. This is the first match, and it's not a relevant one. I could bash for both. What am I getting if I don't attack with the Reclaimer here? I guess it's a double block and it's a little awkward. I guess we better leave Reclaimer for Bog up. I don't even know what this does. Destroy to one. Sure, I guess. Like, what am I supposed to do with this? It doesn't target, which is like funny. Yeah, but I guess we'll put it in the graveyard. Fetch upkeep, then some more. Ugh. Is it? No, I'm not gonna reveal my what's in the yard. What's in my hand? For the purposes of thinning. Oh, nice! Congrats. I don't follow mana traders at all, but I'm vaguely familiar with it. We've been playing real slow. I just realized We're like 5 minutes behind our opponent. That's kind of unacceptable. That's what I was wondering. Doesn't make any sense, but I'm, it is what it is, right? I think that's. I guess they value the effect in the nombo. That's. I mean, there's like definitely arguments for it, like in certain metagames. I'm just not sure that's the optimal way. And you'll definitely get people because they're not expecting it, but I don't think that's the optimal way to build it. I think we ban for both. Force the block. Sure. As long as we hit endurance, we've won the game. Yeah, we're just gonna take the endurance to be safe. Land. No, let's not forget how to do that. Do that. And then a green sun, I guess. Just lock their combo. Sure. All right, we won, even though we did not. Got somewhat blown up by the containment priest. That was like somewhat random. I guess we should have seen it coming, right? Like, why would they play Petal randomly turn one? Excuse me. Um, I mean, 2 mana to answer Reanimator is like kind of sus in my opinion. What do you? Okay. Let's use the restroom real quick. Here's what I'm trying tonight. Yeah, we're just trying to cheese wins with Magus, but Hey, David, how's it going? Star Fox. Hope you're doing well. I've heard good things about Dune. I haven't watched it myself, but hopefully will. Let's keep, I guess. We whiffed on the going for the full blowout against Fury earlier, but like the percentage of that happening for Reclaimer is only like 30 some percent. It's significantly higher for Artisan blowout. Sequencing properly here. You have to search before you mortuary. Because if you want to keep on top, that kind of defeats the purpose. Right? We're going to keep this on top. We want to just hit land drops every turn. Although we're going to like spill the beans against our opponent here that we have red in the sideboard. Now, they have basic planes, which means they're probably like Jeskai or something. Best creature in Legacy. Best creature in Legacy. Only got buffed by the Surveil Lance. What is going on? Why do they have 3 prismatic endings and no island? Do I main phase here? Like, what could they possibly have? I feel like, yeah. Well, actually, no. Let's not. Let's do on their draw step in case they have like Terminus randomly. Like, who the heck knows what they have? There's their crazy mana base. Humility. Okay. I don't know if I can beat that card. Like, I'm gonna be heavily reliant on Gris here. Ugh, that is not what I want to see. Five drop? Sure. I know, right? We're gonna lose this game. Like, what the hell is going on? I'm playing all 1/1s again. I'm gonna bash with both and then cast Natural Order. And pray they don't have force. Our opponent probably knew we were on this deck because why did they keep such a strange hand? This is Cheats McGee right here, what we're doing. And pray they don't draw one of their other... Like, I shuffled it back, unfortunately. Did they really just draw the fourth prismatic ending? Jesus. They really drew the fourth prismatic ending. Okay. We did shuffle them back for what's worth, but still. Alright, now we are probably just dead. We needed that to not really happen. Like I think we can win otherwise, but now we're probably just dead. Well, like I just wonder why can't we just play against a normal deck when we stream? I think the scariest card for our opponent is fourth Aerolingus. And unfortunately, I keep speaking things into existence. I'm gonna take this Narset out, hopefully. What's gonna happen now? Sure. Oh, they're gonna forfeit a million here. We're dead. I mean, this is one way, right? Like, they revealed out the Narset, in case you missed that, Romario. This is like super obnoxious. I guess they didn't want to swing because they're ahead on board. Oh my god, this is never. Hey, how's it going? Hey, Will. We are, quite under it right here. We're 1-0. Thank you for the sub. For those who don't know, Will here, a couple seasons back, won the, in my opinion, the biggest or most prestigious award on, or tournament on MTGO, which is the Magic Online Championship Series. I think that's the acronym. The MOCS. He won a couple of seasons ago, so that pretty sweet. Yeah, I'm doing good. I think Baby's been, speaking of winning, competing in that. Here's Max Carini as well. Baby hasn't been sleeping as well lately because they're teething, but aside from that, I think I'm doing okay. I have a slight cough from COVID still. It's weird because this happened the first time around too with COVID. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but like I don't have COVID anymore and I haven't, but I have this lingering cough that happens like a few times a day, and I don't know when it's gonna take for that to go away. But lingering effects of COVID, I guess. There's an argument to be made, which is just like concede here. We're like behind on board, and it's probably not gonna be good for us. Yeah. The problem with conceding too is like we tell them we don't have a Masager in the deck, which I don't like. I'm just trying to like cheese wins tonight, Will. Ooh, that's actually a decent draw. Because it trades up. Actually, that was. What am I thinking? That was bad. That was bad. I forgot the noble is a 1/1 too. It really is. It really is. Right. I like walked too quickly into that. The problem is like, I've actually beat these kind of board states, but then they killed. They used three prismatic endings. I figured, okay, my grist is probably safe. And then granted, I shuffled the three back with an endurance earlier in the game, but they drew a fourth copy, so probably just like, DOL, right, or SOL, right? We do need a lair. We do need. The problem is like lair. We'd have to draw it naturally too because we can't even reclaim her for it, right? Oh my god, they're gonna get another fourth. I think. Yeah, that's we're not beating that. Let's pack it in. I'm not. I think in the interest of everybody's time, instead of giving the free information that we don't have a sage, I think everybody would rather just like me not play this out. Like just like time is money. All right, let's try not to get got by that. Endurance, no text in this matchup. I think we just want the discard. This is not a. Actually, the pick your poison is like decent here. I don't like any of the other stuff. They probably are more likely to moon us than we moon them. I think the rest is like reasonable. Yeah, I think. Let's see. Life update. What else? Sun's starting swim classes, so that's kind of fun. I think I've been doing pretty good, all things considered, outside of the losing some sleep lately because of what is it called? Sun's been waking up in the middle of the night because he's teething, like I said, right? I think I have to mold this. This is too reactive. This is actually decent. Keep. And then I think we put the. There's argument to me it should be the reclaimer. I like it a lot because there's obviously some situations where Force of Vigor is better, but I like it a lot because it saves sideboard slots. So before you need like two cards to map against two additional cards in sideboard to map against Delver, like six total, and that like for Eternal Weekend, like cast is the list cast top aided with, uh, or the list that I came to conclusion on, right, was three Invigorates in the 75, two in the sideboard. So essentially, what it does is it combines the Invigorate and the Force of Vigor slots. So you have actually two extra sideboard slots now, which is like pretty clutch. All right, here regretting a little bit not keeping the ramp. Although to be fair, we'll probably like lead with Artisan anyways. Just like bait out remover. I mean force or something. There's that. Smells like a sea priest here. I'm leading with that for the reason I mentioned, right? Like in case they force, which happened. Uh, do we bash here? They play a Snapcaster. I guess we just rotate, right? Like I guess this might be free. Oh, that reminds me. Here are my socials for those curious. I got the whole squad out here. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Between Will, Max, Romario. Yeah, I think I don't want my son on the swimming topic to be like me, where like low key or high key, I guess. I'm a little bit afraid of water in the sense that like it's a mental thing for me when I go swimming, and I didn't want my son to have that phobia, right? A little tidbit about me, I guess. So getting him used to water early, unlike me who learned later, and the fear is already there. Question here is like, I guess I just get the mortuary here. Bin. What's going on here? They have a swords too? Oh my god. Like, what is with them drawing triple prismatic ending every game? That's pretty good. We might be in trouble. Okay. Excuse me. Oh, this natural order. I just want to put a tracks into play, please. That's not the worst. Uh, we're gonna slam no matter what, assuming we have the mana. Like, there's gonna be no hesitation. If they don't kill our hierarchy here, we're gonna slam. And just pray, right? This is like real awkward, right? I boarded in the pick your poison, which is actually kind of low key awful. Like, given this game at least. Oh my god. Please stop. The good thing is, any fetch land is live. So we have a lot of good draws. We're gonna lose here. Our deck has not lined up very well against their draws in terms of uh, the way that these games have played out. I don't think this matchup is like bad per se. Uh, Maybe I don't know if the version she was referring to had this many basics, but I definitely don't want to get like what is the card Days Undoing from them. That's like the card I'm scared of. But yeah, the pending and swords being one mana removal is like pretty brutal against us compared to leyline binding, which is greedier, right? And like the first leyline binding takes two mana or whatever. The worst possible, not the worst, but one of the worst possible draws we could have had. I think we might have lost a chance there. If this was a fetch land, I think it was. Yeah, I mean, Sylvan Library's been soft banned forever now. Okay, we're just drawing our dead cards. Like, our deck, one good thing, I guess if you want to call it that, is like we're fairly immune to Bowmasters. Like, it kills our 1/1 dorks, but like they're trading 2 mana for one. So even though it feels annoying, it's not necessarily the end of the world. Yeah, for sure. And then like Leyline Binding after that, for sure. Like cards like Choke are just like not even reasonable anymore. All right, we're gonna have to walk into it. I'm sure they probably have forced by now, but like I don't think they're waiting any longer. And just like pray, right? They probably have it. Yeah. The good thing is any one drop and we can actually do it again next turn. But yeah, I think I saw players talking about. Oh, that's not good. I think I saw players talking about how like it's weird now the cards that have historically been really good against. Oh, we're just dead. That's a concession. They probably attack first and then undoing us. I have switched to one Arbor. For those of you curious, and the reason why is because we're not beating this. Uh, I've switched to one Arbor because if you look at the deck list, uh, it turns out when you have Eldritch Reclaimer and a million fetch lands, I don't even know what the highest deck, like which legacy deck has the most fetch lands, but I'm willing to think it might be even be ours. I'm playing a Troll Red Splash tonight. Like this is not normal, but so ignore the Tiger, which is normally another fetch. But I'm playing 12 fetches because I think in our deck, Underground Mortuary is like very good because it's almost like a cantrip, right? Like in the mid and late game. I've blown out multiple Delver players now by with bow or whatever on the stack or bowmasters, and then I'm like flipping a creature to protect either Fiend Artisan in most cases, and then or like an Elvish Reclaimer. That's like harder because the land count is lower than the creature count. But yeah, I've blown out both remove damage based remove on Reclaimer and Artisan just by flipping creature. So that's I was just getting to that. I switched to one Arbor because I think you can only tolerate so many tap lands in this deck. The first Mortuary is free because it replaced the second Arbor. So that is like tap land for tap land. Except this produces black mana, which is like relevant for Snuff Out too, right? And Thoughtseize potentially like if you draw it later. The second one I think is so good. I'm willing to take another tap land. I don't think I want the third, right? Like at some point we're gonna hit the fail rate, and I still want a somewhat functional deck that isn't too hit by tempo, right? Like of these tap lands. The first one is free. I think the second one is like mostly really good, still upside. I think beyond that is like how many reclaimer activations do you need before you've drowned your opponent in like virtual card advantage, so to speak, right? Keep. Like obviously the first activation is gonna get Cradle in most cases, anyways. Assuming you already, hey, thanks for the sub, Mike. Appreciate it. Assuming you already have Cradle, the first two are gonna be. Speaking of which, the first two are gonna be. Excuse me. For Mortuary. Oh, they're on a TS, and then the third one maybe a like if you can get a Arbor or something if you need the extra mana, but like. All right. Did we more? We did not. All right. So I think we want to optimize our like relevant draws. So I want to fetch. Well, actually, no, that's not true. I almost screwed that up. Like, I think maybe endurance here in case they go for like a guy's will line. Yeah, let's do that as like protection. We have turn two collectives. Actually, let's fetch. No, I was gonna say fetch red to scare them, but like maybe we want boarded moon. Like depending on how this how many cards we have. It is. Like I've had at least like as I've gotten more accustomed to the play patterns. I think this is actually now the hardest version of the deck I've played. Harder than even the Glimpse Reclaimer version. That is essentially just a glimpse without the training wheels of Nettle Sentinel, right? Like I think this is the hardest version of the deck now that I've played because you have to kind of know that the sequencing associated with like cantrip decks, right? Because it's like relevant for the surveil. So if you haven't touched a DRC before, it might be a time to do that. Um, but it combines a lot of those aspects and integrates it with the green aspects before, and I've been programmed a different way to like not worry about that in the context of this deck, but now it's suddenly relevant, right? C's, all right, sure. I'm not just gonna oof my opponent right now, and then hold endurance for in case I go for like a guy as well or something, or beseech line. I like most cases the Fiend Artisan is better, but like I just want to get to turn two is the bottom line of getting the endurance. Right, it's just one additional thing they need to play around. But yeah, I've been liking that interaction a lot, and I think as I've gone more accustomed to those play patterns, it's definitely like last week I didn't do it at all, and then I think 3 days ago, whatever, I did it once, and then I think the day after, maybe it was like 2 days ago, and then I think yesterday or maybe it was the day before, I did like 3 times. And granted, my matchup spread was a little bit different. So the first few leagues I played with the surveillance, I was hitting combo a lot more, so it wasn't as relevant. But as I played against more against like bombardiers or like Delver, then it's come up a decent amount. I have Thoughtseize. Um, I think I'm just gonna do this and just like nuke their yard here. I give them extra storm count, but like I just like hopefully cut off that line. Sure. So, Mike, are you telling me you would not endurance there? I feel like it was correct, right? The Gris is not gonna matter. Well, okay, this is just easy mode. This is better lucky than good. Yeah, I think I would agree with that. I think everybody's in agreement probably, like that they're not just stone dead to this collector oof plus endurance backup, but I interesting. Why not, Mike? Why should not have they played Thoughtseize there? Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, maybe they thought we were just gonna like not do anything, right? Like they're gonna take our endurance and not respond, and then they will. But that would be really disrespectful, I guess. And assuming I didn't make the correct play. All right. I don't even remember how I boarded this matchup. I know that's coming out, and so is this. All right. Definitely the seasons are relevant. Macabre is definitely better like than an endurance. Jailer's pretty good. So let's see. Yeah, for sure. I think I see. I know what you're referring to now, Mike. And I think the only explanation I can come up with is maybe just they thought we weren't gonna make that line. Da-da-da. So interestingly enough, my guide actually says to board out endurances. I think this is because we assume a higher level TS player is gonna play around the graveyard anyways. I think that was my logic probably when I came up with the sideboard map. I can see why we are cutting one mortuary because it's kind of slow. Pick your poison. Is that something we want in this kind of matchup? Like, how often is it gonna leave a naked pick your thing out there? TS. According to this, I don't bring it in. Let's see. How do we want to cheese it with a Magus? I feel like it's probably too slow. They still have like yeah. I feel like that's probably not gonna work against them. But and then go. This needs to come out. The first endurance maybe. I feel like this is not gonna get there on time at least. But I could be wrong. They have artifact mana too. That's the other thing, right? Like just they might not even need it, or they might even be able to play through it. Right, Max. So okay, so maybe it's worth it. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see, right? We have turn two collective. My opponent did say Wowie after we top decked that green sun, right? Yeah, so maybe it's worth it. For what? So this would have been a moon for what it's worth. Yeah, maybe it is worth it. I don't know. It's funny because I think we just keep. I don't think we just mold the seas. That's probably my favorite discard spell in the game. Thoughtseize. Actually, it might be him too. That's true. I am pretty lucky. Like I am, you know, I've been granted a free subscription, a premium. I think here we're gonna fetch Bayou since we didn't board in Moon. There's a debate actually whether if the pick your poison there was a Moon, whether we should fetch Bayou because if we fetch a basic, it's somewhat telegraphed, and I don't know if we're supposed to do that and telegraph it. I don't know. Although the counter argument is if you have the hierarchy, you should fetch basic force every time then, just to keep them guessing. All right. Interesting. They're gonna echo here. Sure. Ironically enough, the endurance might be relevant here. We're just gonna like pretend like we're F6ing through, and hopefully they go for like a will line. And then try to catch them at the last second. Relay, okay. Oops, that's not the right one. Sure. Maybe I'm supposed to show them endurance and then not have it next game. That's like a line I could have taken, right? Uh-oh. They had the volcanic. Oh my god, what the heck is going on? Oh, no, okay, we're just dead. Now we were just dead. Let's see what they. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I think based on that, I do like the Magus plan. You can like, especially on the play, you can just like cheese a win. Let's do that. Take out the endurance. Take out the pick your poisons. Like you have to kind of get lucky. No, I don't. I try not to do that. I try not to do that. Sure. I could hit them with a wowie the way they hit it on me, but they did say I've been lucky a few times myself, so you know. Nope. Uh, Keep. Turn 2 moon is pretty good. I think that it's the force that's back. I think here I have to lead. Well, actually, now I realize something. I probably should have kept the basic force and pretended as. I don't think that's unreasonable. Ugh. They probably take the Magus here. So that was the mistake, right? I think I'm supposed to lead with the force and pretend like that was just my natural fetch because here with the noble hierarch, it's telegraphed now. Okay, it's like reasonable, I guess. One thought sees deserves another. Hmm. Let me see. I get the beseech or the brainstorm. Let me think about that. Their hand is like trash. I feel like we just take the brainstorm. Because how bad their hand is. Yeah, that's fair. There's the LED. Well, that's unfortunate. So I do think like we're supposed to keep the forest there so we don't telegraph it for what it's worth. That's like the next level play, right? I will say Magus is better than I gave it credit for, probably. Because maybe they don't Thoughtseize. I think with that hand they probably still do because they don't have a turn one play. But in general, I think it might have been correct to try to hide it, right? We're probably dead now. I think that's okay though. Like I think Moon is probably better than I gave it credit for. Against Storm. So that's like a nice learning lesson. I wonder how many echoes are they playing? This is maybe the older TS build. I don't think they normally have this many, but I don't know. I could be wrong. It does actually add value to like Soulless Jailer though. We can't concede yet because we're tech. Why would they do that? We're technically not dead. Their hand must be like either all mana or just like super clunky. Because that doesn't make any sense. Is that really the list now? Interesting. Alright, let's see. We're definitely gonna like flood our hand. Question here is we still have 2 mana and I wonder what's better, Jailer here or Collector Oof? It's gotta be Collector Oof, right? What do we get here? I, Because Echo doesn't even work if they have a Collector Oof. We lose the Beseech, but like, what can you do? What do you think, chat? Mike and Max, I'll defer to you since you guys play Storm. Is Collector Oof the call in here on this board state? We would take 10 from our opponent, right? So we'd be down to 6. Maybe it's Jailer after all. Sure, that's fair. I guess Jailer stops the Beseech lines, but But oof stops the burning wish lines. I just figured it was close because we're gonna be down to six, right? Like they're gonna attack. Oh, we're gonna block four, and then see, right? They didn't shuffle, which is scary. I think we have no choice but to block them all. Sure, that's fair. I didn't. I mean, I don't know the latest TES technology. And to truth be told, like the only TES player I've been running to was Brian Cook. Anyways, I think I might have played against one other person besides. Maybe it was this person. I don't know. Uh oh. Okay, we're just dead anyways. All right, we are dead. Well, I think. Well, to be fair, also they have four cards in hand. If we got Jailer there, like their Opal is still turned on, they just like maybe hard cast it, right? All right. Live and learn. I'm gonna get some water as we wait. Uh, Playing against Depths. I think I lost to this person recently. So far tonight, we have beaten Strawberry Shortcake. We've lost to Jeskai Control, and then we just lost to TS. I know, right? We lost to Humility. We lost to. Actually, no, that's not true. We lost to what is it called? Anarsa in the previous game. We lost to Prismatic Ending. Let's keep. I'm just gonna pretend like I don't know what they're on. I don't like to make these. I know some people are real aggressive about like searching out what their opponent is on. I think that hurts you more than it helps you in the long run, especially for lower stakes events. Like higher stakes, I understand, but like I think in leagues, if you're doing that, it's probably gonna hurt you more than it helps you. Is my personal take. What the hell is going on? Oh, they're playing. Okay, we just stumped into our best matchup. We just stumped into our best matchup right now. Do we care? Probably not. And the other thing is, I am very familiar with Dredge, so like I know where their choke points are. So I think it's going to be tough sledding for our opponent. Unless we draw the bog like we just did right now. Okay. This will ramp. We will bash. put the bog here and like nuke the yard. The greedy line there would have been to not bog. Sure, and then that's so funny. Maybe they therapy here. Nope. All right, the game is over. All right, let's see how I want to do this. I'm gonna wait for them to dredge, and then I'm gonna nuke their yard. Da, da, da. And I think I want to activate Reclaimer. I think I just want to like press my mana advantage. So I'll just pass. Go to draw step. Let them dredge, and then if it's anything relevant, so they have a therapy. Let me see what this. Okay, I don't want them to have the free Poxwalker, so I'm gonna nuke their yard now. And that's probably just game. Yeah. So it's real tough. This I don't think so because like we're so favored. I don't think we like screw that up. Let's well we gotta see how many cards we have first, right? I don't think we want these. I actually like Pick Your Poison because they're a no Leyline of Sanctity deck. No Invigorate. Actually, why did I bring this in right now? That was a mistake. I think the collect. Do I like that? I think we just want like another green 1-drop. Yeah, I think we bring in the Wicked Poison just because they're known Leyline of Sanctity deck. I don't think we mess around with the Magus because I think we're so favored in this. This is like, in my opinion, our best matchup in Legacy. Which is why I retweet them a lot. It's pretty good. Sure. Are we just gonna go bog into Jailer? Maybe, yeah. There's no way they're named Jailer. Yep. Maybe we play this to scare them. That might just be game. I don't even. Yeah, I don't even know they have outs this card. That is how I want to see our games. More of those matchups. All right, I'm gonna use the rest of my movie right back. Alright, I am back. So, so far, we probably should have boarded in Magus here against TES game 2. But excuse me. Four matchups so far, only one where Magus is relevant. We're playing against lands, potentially. But they're 0-2. So they're either, not having a great night, or if they are on lands, maybe they're hitting all combo matchups or whatnot. Or they're on a different deck, right? So my general heuristic is you assume the ones hits. So we have one land. Um, they usually are. I don't know why they played lands recently, but assuming this hits, we have two cards, two draws to hit another land, and the second Shepherd is already a mole, and probably the Gris is a mole too. They don't know mole this. This is a lot better. You're thinking of the right Samus, Max. So something that's exciting that's coming up is maybe I'll go on. I probably will go on a trip with my family pretty soon, in like a month or so. So because I haven't used all my family bonding time yet, so that would be kind of cool. I'll probably use that time to much needed vacation. Ooh, Saga turn one. So I think they are on lands, based on the start at least. Which actually makes me happy I kept a better hand against my opponent, right? Like, Shepherds are dead in this lands matchup as well. We know what's on our bottom, so we're gonna once. That's the general heuristic, right? Like, if you mulligan, you want to once before you fetch. I think the best card here is probably Cradle in this matchup. In this matchup, Fiend is actually kind of bad. All right, I think I get endurance and just stop their loam shenanigans. I'm just gonna hope that we can like oof the next turn. Would have been better if we're on the play, but what can you do? Sure. Maybe they tabernacle us just right now on the spot. Is that what they're doing? I think Artisan is gonna be pitched for endurance. Like I never have the mana. When Artisan is good in this matchup, my experience is we're already like kind of ahead, and they're like stumbled. Like I never have the mana needed for Artisan in this matchup. So they are gonna tabernacle us, which is criminal, but you know. All right, Reclaimer, and then I'm just gonna do this like ramp. This is gonna be a sweet line that I gotta do. Some of you who are not familiar with our lines may be wondering why would you get an arbor with a tabernacle out, and you will see why. Actually, unless they might do it here. Actually, if they need or reclaim, that's annoying. So they do. Oh my god, why did they do it now? Actually, no, that's... We have the endurance. What am I saying? Oh, we're gonna lock out our opponent. This is actually really sweet. I think our opponent has lost the game. Oh, never mind. I thought we were gonna lock our opponent out by getting a collective here, but... what do we do here? We definitely pay... I don't think we want that loam in the yard. It's like super annoying. Nope. No. Actually, why did I... what am I doing? Why did I think that I had a green sun available? No, I actually like this match. I killed a Merit Lage the other day with Put Your Poison. As funny as that sounds. I'm like spacing out though. I don't know why I thought I had green sun in my hand. Like I kept thinking I'm gonna lock my opponent out. Probably because I had the Phenars in hand. I actually feel okay about this matchup for what it's worth. Like your Pick Your Poisons, you're just saving it really for Saga, and as long as you don't get Merit Lage, you should be able to beat a Tabernacle. I have the problem with this matchup for newer players is the general heuristics are not consistent with your normal heuristics. So like, it's hard for me to explain how to approach the matchup because it's like very different than the other matchups. And the like you should not lose the Tabernacle by itself. I'll put it that way. Mm. Mm-hmm. What did they? What did we pitch with the thing earlier? Life of a long time. Oh, they would have got. I think we've lost now. Like with that needle hitting our reclaimer. So we gotta dig for. Does that matter? I don't think so on this board state. Here we're gonna play around crop rotation in response to wasteland. After we pay, because if you tap wrong, they can like wasteland you. What do they get back? I need to pay attention to that. Wasteland Yavimaya at Thespian stage. Okay. Feels like they have crop rotation here, like a million men and do nothing. The mistake I make, I not make. Well, I made this before, but the mistake I make, I see a lot of players make, Max, is they will pay for Tabernacle triggers on something like a Shepherd that really doesn't matter. That's probably the most common mistake I see, and they're afraid of losing their creatures. That's actually super relevant. Um, Kind of feels like we're opponent has merit lage. I'm not gonna attack. Uh, do we care? I guess we want to hit their loam right now. Before they get even more value out of it. I felt like they had merit lage would have done it, unless they're like next leveling us. I think we're just gonna bash with all. Now I feel kind of silly for not attacking, right? Because I would have my opponent dead right now if I did last turn. Now, obviously, they could have the crop rotation, but I haven't looked to like. They milled and played Thespian stage. What the hell? Maybe they had another. What is going on? I'm like really confused now because they did nothing and then they didn't cast their loam. I need to pay attention more, I guess. I have to look at the log. What's going on? Unless they just missed it. Like this. I think we just play for the win here. I'm trying to think why would our opponent not loam and then not make a merit lage? Unless they screwed up. Because I must have missed that like somewhere. Like they dredged their loam and then played a Thespian stage and did nothing? Okay, I don't know what's going on here. I think the connection is bad. Like, I think our opponent just lost connection on our end, but they just typed period. So I don't know what's going on here. Needless to say, we're probably not in a good spot. Unless our opponent just like messed up and we're supposed to loam and didn't. For those of you who are logged on MTGO, could you confirm that MTGO is just not bugged at the moment? That is like a realistic uh, probability as well. Alright, I think they're going for it now. Which makes no sense. Like, why would not go for the previous turn? That makes no sense, but whatever. Like, we're losing regardless. I'll just concede. Like, they make it and then we're essentially top decking anyways. Uh, what a way to end a Blood Moon matchup. Is there anything else? Fairy's probably relevant. Just board out Artisan's not going to do anything this matchup. Anything else is like pretty bad. I think that's it. Funny thing is the lands matchup should be like drastically improved, right? Ugh. It's a mode of 5, but we would draw one of our bombs. It's not guaranteed to hit turn 2 as well. I feel like we have the mole. Ugh, feels bad. Especially a lot of these players like to go turn 1 Tabernacle. Oh my god. So we're in a mode of 5 anyways. What in the world? Then we have to keep. Hit a land drop and then. We're almost like on a mode of 4, right? This endurance is probably gonna be pitched. I really wish there was a green creature that was like relevant enough that had a way to put like an Atraxa or a Hoof back to the deck. That's like my top of my wish list at the moment. Like, I think we take the fetch and then ramp in case we draw the Blood Moon of the Mags. If it was Blood Moon, I may still take a chance on the. I may still take a chance there on like keep, but because it was Magus, it's susceptible to Source to Plowshares too. And then we were on mode of 5 already, so granted we mode of 5 anyways. The swords are dork. We're probably pretty behind. Jesus. Excuse me. Saw this nasty cough from COVID. I think our opponent's computer is like lag. Oh my god, why? Maze and Canopy? Sure, I guess. I didn't really want to pitch the Reclaimer. That's why I let the Maze go. I think we Endurance now before they can do anything. Hmm. Kind of feels like they have Merit Lage. Kind of feels like they have it. I just pass. We have to hit one of our two pick your poison next turn. I've had it happen before, but we'll see if I get lucky again here. The other day, I blocked with Endurance and I had a pick your poison in hand. So, but here we have the top deck it with essentially two looks. Sure. So that's an interesting thing. Like, we're suddenly at 21 because they swords for some reason unknown. So now we have suddenly two, like an extra life. I think we don't fetch now. What is going on? Then we keep this fetch in hand. Just we go to. Actually, that was a mistake. I think we still fetch because if we draw something we actually like an Endurance, then we don't like we get a virtual draw, right? Like instead of being down to one life, where the saga suddenly matters. That's awkward. Okay, so if I had fetched, I would have drawn this one turn sooner. Yeah, so that was a mistake on my behalf that I hopefully won't make again. I would have drawn this one turn sooner, and then they're not going to be able to Caracas us. Interesting. Our opponent's making some strange plays. There's the pick your poison. Oh, that was a mistake. That was a mistake. Put into the graveyard. Yes. That was a mistake by me though. I need to play over Claimer there. And may suffer because of that. Oh my god, I think I actually win this game if I sequence this better. Because I would get the attracts a turn earlier. And our opponent is like finding ways to get us back in the game. Okay, that's okay. I think the lesson learned here is like you don't get Q, right? You just fetch for the mortuary because you need to hit within the next 2 turns anyways, and you rather just like accelerate your deck by one. Um, and we're looking for a specific card, so I would have got the natural order a turn earlier, and I think we actually stabilized this game, but that is okay. Yeah, that's okay. 4. Is it raining outside? Sounds like it is. All right. Should we play some more? I think the list actually was okay. Uh, there's an argument to be made, which is just not play Magus. Just like 3 Blood Moons, right? Just so they can't answer it. Like, how often are we gonna tutor with it with Fiend Artisan? I would have to imagine it is pretty slow, but maybe it's still worth it. I don't know. I would have to imagine, yeah, like I said, it's like pretty slow. We can play a few more, I guess. It was interesting enough. Oops, we are short. Okay, you know what that means, right? We're gonna go and open chests just for everyone here. All right, we got 25 on the first one. And then we got another 5 here to get to 100. I don't think we got anything relevant though. Sludge Titan. All right, let's run it back, I guess. Or we'll play a few more and then see how it goes. I definitely screwed that game up. And I think we have a decent audience here tonight, so. I think we did learn something that league, which makes me happy, personally. And let me just double check. I think it's raining outside, so. Take it back, it's not. How many blood moons are too many blood moons? Probably 3 is enough. Debatable even want the Magus, right? Like, but maybe just the line to Artisan for it against these control decks is worth it. Uh-oh. Our opponent is a show and tell player, I believe. Some more regardless. What are these hands tonight? But in case they're not, I believe they are Omnitel. I think I've played them enough times to recognize their name. I think they typically play in our time zone. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But I believe it's Omnitel. So far, so good, I guess. Although I would rather not play against this deck. This is an example of a deck where endurance doesn't do anything. It's right on cue, right? So the debate there was like, do you get the extra mana or do you want the dig for one? I think we need a clock. I hope to get lucky. That is a clock. We might be just dead here. So we have 4, well, potentially, if we get an Arbor with a Mystic, it's as much as 5 mana, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I think it's Omni, max. Alright, we get the extra mana here first. And then we're gonna dig. That actually doesn't do it, ironically enough. Here, actually, not having the second Arbor hurts me because I'm short. So 5, 6, 7, 8. I think this needs to be binned. Like any land here, I think we're okay. That is not what I want to see. Not having the second Arbor hurt here. We're probably dead now. We need it. We just needed the 9th mana and we missed on 2 draws. We had to get the Arbor to ramp 1. If we had the second Arbor in the deck, we could just get it. We could have, but if I'm the opponent, I 100% force. But maybe that's the better line. I don't know. It's possible that's the better line, but hard to say now. We're most likely dead. Because I actually think maybe that's the better line. Just hope they don't force, right? Actually, did I just punt? I realized. No, I didn't. All right, now we're dead. So here, not having the second arbor here cost us. Sure. So the question here is, we can actually survive an Emrakul attack. Actually, cancel. It's that. Try that. So we have lethal via these. They whiff. Probably not after that. Alright, now we're dead. I think there's some valid I thought about the one slime, but I figured, oh, they're just gonna force, right? But maybe they force is better than nothing. We really needed hit a land there, and we did not. Okay. Check out these hideous endurances. This matchup, we have like a zillion dead cards. Pick your poisons like reasonable, I guess. Like, what do we even want? I don't think we want anything else. Maybe that. We don't have anything for really for this matchup. I'm like, one more, but like, not even sure what we're looking for. I think we're priced to keep and put back probably a reclaimer. Bottom. I want to hit another land and double spell a second turn. feels bad, but I think I have to do it this way. Yep. Feels bad, but I think I'm pretty sure I have to do it that way. It's very interesting sequencing there on our opponent's behalf. I think they're supposed to preordain before playing that fetch land, but it's a different story. I think our best draw here is a land, so we can play around days. Don't think we have a choice. Dress down, ponder, and omniscience. I mean, they are Omnitel. That is like the name of their deck. They kept on top. Just take the card the name is after it. What I don't personally like about Omnitel is, like, I wouldn't play it because it's actually a 3-card combo. Where the third card is like borderline, right? Like cantrips or whatnot. But you actually have to assemble 3 parts. And I'm not a fan of 3-card combos. So we finally get a wrap here. And it's not like Storm either, where sure you have to cast rituals and stuff, but that's just your accelerants. Really, Storm is a 1-card combo. They brainstormed and played Tomb. Wonder what that means. See if they respond to this. I'm gonna do it now, in case it matters. I'm gonna actually get Taiga and like bluff the half red blast or something. Sure. All right, time to dig for that Traxa. Ding, 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 ding. Ugh, they always have it. Probably dead regardless. Gotta hit a land. There's a land. Maybe they have another. Okay, sure. In matchups like this, I actually think Pick Your Poison is better than Force of Vigor, as counterintuitive that sounds. Because my experience against Show and Tell is there's usually like a cage or whatever that you want to deal with, and you don't want to be down a card. The best against something like this deck is like a Nature's Claim because it's instant speed. But Force of Vigor is obviously good against these Saga decks, or better, I would say, because sometimes you need to do it. All right, we're dead. All right, maybe one more. My socials again for those who want to check out my content. Also, if money is an issue, but you still want to play this deck, feel free to just reach out to me. I've made arrangements with a few others in the past where, for instance, well, I don't want to name names, but I made arrangements in the past where I made sure that that was not the reason why they couldn't get it, the content. I'll leave it that way. And my Patreon. Actually, there's a lot of free content regardless. Obviously, my Twitch replays I don't like lock. Um, shoot, I think I just take a land then. Yeah, I don't lock my Twitch replays and YouTube, Discord, like all of that's free. What am I missing? Some of my Patreon posts are free too, for what it's worth. So, and then subscription is $5. So, maybe they bolt. We'll see. Yeah, it's kind of why I led with the hierarch there. We're gonna go with the other hierarch here too, for the same reason. Um, the way this game has played out, I actually think we're not in too bad shape. This bog being non-green is pretty annoying though. Sometimes it can cast Artisan, but unfortunately not at the moment. Um, I think we do it this way. They've had, well, I guess 2 removal spells in a days. Yeah, I know. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. Here, not so good. I guess the Dredge player obviously was very savage, but actually that's now we've unlocked our hand. Ooh. Alright, that's actually good. Now we can actually make use of this artisan. Maybe they force, I don't know. And then we're gonna run the high arc into days. Sure. They probably, yeah, that's fine. Our thing is huge now. The box, like, not a great draw, but not the worst. Like, at least there's a land drop that we can at some point filter for a Guy's Cradle. They can't heat us yet, but we'll see. Oh, okay, sure. I think I like our position from here if we can hit a land. This kind of counts, I guess. We're just gonna continue to do that. And here, mana is of the most importance. So I'm gonna ramp. Bin. Sure. Could see a Murktide here. And if we do, nope. Alright, I think we just gotta fade a Stifle potentially. I want full mana essentially. Next turn. That's why I got rid of the Reclaimer. Which I usually don't, but I know my path to victory here is just gonna be chaining endurances. And at some point they're just gonna concede. My general rule of thumb is against Delver, 1 endurance they're on the ropes, 2 is probably game over. So our opponent right now, according to that heuristic, they are on the ropes. For those of you who don't watch boxing, whenever you're on the ropes, you're about to get knocked out. Yeah, we're a combo deck against Delver. It's just like A plus B is endurance plus endurance. Sure. Maybe they attack and then like deal with the endurance and then bolt it, but we still get a 2 for 1 there. Sure. Oh, now they have to run the DRC into the endurance. It's probably over. It doesn't feel like our opponent has found what they needed. And again, I pitched the Reclaimer because I know I'm going to continue to activate Artisan. Like, their permission is completely turned off now. I don't want them to filter, is why I'm killing the DRC. Maybe they bolt the Endurance here, I don't think I care. Outside of something like Price of Progress, it should be over, yeah. Again, 1 Endurance, they're on the ropes, 2 is game over. Why I hate this glitch where like I'm pretty sure we have 4 snuff out in, but it only shows 3. Uh, Actually, yeah, I was gonna mention something else, but that's okay. I was gonna maximize it because I know one request was that it may be hard for replays for people who watch it replays to see. Excuse me. It may be hard for players to see the cards, so I apologize. I'm gonna snuff out into Hierarch. Force. Okay, wow, interesting. I'm gonna lead with the less important Hierarch. I'm opting to develop my mana here. Ooh, okay. Sure. Which is, I think, more important than the extra 3 life. Okay, this is kind of an interesting decision because I also want to play around days for what's worth. Um, so I can play around waste or I can play around days. If they daze my Hierarch, then I will be left with just. Well, I'll have next. Actually, that's okay, I think. Do they have another force? This is the question. We're at 8. It's gonna be tight. Oh my god, they're gonna have Murktide? What a hand. Wow, what a hand from our opponent. Like, force our turn one play into double flip DRC into a Murktide. That is quite good. We need a... That's gotta go into the bin. We take 5 maybe right here. Do we allow ourselves to die to Bolt? I think we need the mana. The funny thing is, the Canoptic Scarab Swarm would be pretty good here to stabilize the board. We don't have that, unfortunately. We have to kill the Murktide, so that's the first thing. Actually, we should have attacked. It's kind of free. Minor mistake. I don't think it's gonna matter. I'm pretty sure we're already dead. Pretty sure we are already dead. We're dead to so many things. The one life may end up costing me, but we'll see. We've stabilized the board, but definitely plusing. Six, 10, 11. We're one short. It's gonna be a turn 2 clock anyways. But actually, you might be right. Like I see a turn 2 clock regardless, but maybe I'm missing something. Sure. Sure. You can do it last turn. Ignore. Yeah, that I was playing around borrower. That's what you mean. So if they had seen it, they would have already snap kept and just bolted me right now. But okay, maybe not. Possible I'm supposed to ignore borrower for what it's worth. But I think not blocking at that one turn might have cost me. But then I would lose the grist for what it's worth too. Okay, 1 second. Shoot. Baby's awake. Okay, wife's taking care of it, luckily. So I actually think thinking about it more, I think Kevin's right. I probably should have just done that. I played too conservatively since my back was already against the wall. So, I think I definitely agree with Kevin's line. And just like put him on a turn two clock and just because I think I gave my opponent an extra turn, and I think I'm not supposed to do that. Okay. Here's where it's nice to have the second mortuary because I want to play artisan through days. But if my opponent doesn't do anything, then I can fetch mortuary because I've drawn one right naturally. So I think for sure I agree with Kevin's line actually. Cut the clock back in one, and instead of playing so conservatively around borrower, which is like a one of at most. Not gonna block here. I think our mana is more important than trading with a DRC at this juncture, which they could have more, right? I think I just want to dig. That's pretty good. I'm not. I'm gonna make my opponent waste mana here in case their hand is double days. If my opponent, if my opponent plays the questing beast thing, um, I'm gonna. I was gonna say I'm gonna endurance and response. So what I was playing around there was you benefit from doing it on upkeep because if their opponent has double days, you don't want them spending two mana into uh, bounce the other land, right? You want them to bounce both from a tempo perspective. All right, what did they hit? Murktide and Shropshire. The game might already be over. The game might be over. Sure. Hmm. Question here is like, do I snuff out their thing? Probably not yet. Mm, I think I want to snuff this out because it's gonna be problematic later on. If they force, sure. I think that I'm fine with that actually. This will be the fourth card in the yard. They have a land. They can Murktide me. How many forces did they have? They've already played two. They attack. I think that's fine. We're gonna win the race. Go to 8. This Picker Poison is sitting dead in my hand, ironically enough. Now, actually, now I lose to a bolt, which is awkward. I feel like I did not play this correctly. Did not feel like it's possible I'm supposed to just like chump block the questing druid when I had the chance. I'll be at a virtual 4, but then I stranded bolt. Yeah, double block like it's a little awkward the way this is playing out. They probably attack. You would think at least. I'm not the best at calling, man. I'll admit that. Jesus Christ. What a awkward set of sequences. It's interesting that they didn't want to do that pre. Like, it's very strange. Maybe they don't want to turn on my pick my. They know pick your poison is on. Maybe they just don't want to turn it on for DRC, which is pretty tight play on their behalf. What if I main phase this right now? What happens? Could be a daze. Force, okay. So awkward. It, what a strange match. Like, that this is dead the whole game. Man. And they have somehow managed to not, like, I don't think there's an out now. Very, very, oh, man, I cannot believe this. Credit to our opponent though, they played tight. They played tight for sure. We have just drawn blanks. I think the game turned when we got the snuff out forced. We blocked there, we go to, I don't, what, yeah, maybe we can see it too early, I don't know, like, man. And we had the green sun too, but then we lose the days or force, right? Like they have. Four. It's hard to say. Now I feel dumb for conceding early. Yeah, so the way it plays out is I get an artisan, they can't attack anymore. That assumes that it even resolves through days. If they have a wasteland, I lose too, right? Like that's the other thing. It definitely did not feel like I was supposed to lose that game, and maybe that's user error. they force there. We underground on their end step. We get endurance. Like I feel real good about this position at this point. They do that. In response, I do that in case they draw force. They play that. I don't think I care. The problem with yeah, I thought about that, but the problem is that it grows too, right? Like, and maybe we're just supposed to buy turns, but that did cross my mind for what it's worth. It just feel like it. I think the game turned here, where like I had this forced. Like I think there's a reasonable argument that I sequenced this incorrectly because I didn't think this would be dead, and maybe I'm supposed to save the snuff out later and go attack there, pass, bin that. That's fine. Let the brainstorm resolve. Yeah, so I think that's where the mistake was made. Yeah, exactly, Kevin. I think it felt like this was where the game was lost, and I think that is true, because I'm supposed to think about how I answer this in the future because it does get bigger than everything, but maybe artisan, right? Like obviously you get artisan, they're not gonna beat that, but like I think we're supposed to allow the brainstorm to resolve, and then pass. They do that. We're gonna endurance to keep them off Murktide. They probably force here. Right. It does right. So I think yeah, you want this to get forced. This turns on, and the snuff out is still on. So that was just like bad sequencing by me. That cost us the game. Because you should not lose if you have two endurance resolve, and um, I think yeah that was a mistake, right? Like I had my pick your poison turned off because of the endurance resolving, and then we couldn't deal with the questing druid, which usually shouldn't matter in this matchup because it's kind of slow. But better learning here than like later on in a bigger event. Um, it's 11:25. Do we want to end on a bad note? Let's go one more, I guess. I think yeah. My gut was I lost. I felt like I lost the game on the snuff out play, and that was accurate. Let's take a look. Unfortunately, no moon matchups. There was one. We haven't had this be relevant yet, but there was one instance. I think the swarm would have stabilized, and I don't remember what. Maybe it was the previous game. Don't remember. I do think I like the. I do think I like the invigorating theory, but maybe the swarm just being found off artist is just like too much of a late game bomb to ignore. Man, it is not my night. Uh oh, SpaghettiOs. I think win or lose, I'll call it a night here because I don't want to sleep too late. I have stuff to take care of in the morning. The good thing is this matchup is one of my favorites, win or lose. Uh, it's very condensed, but there's actually a lot of decisions to be made on both sides. Uh, it rewards tight play for the most part, and it's quick, which usually is not a good thing. But in this case, uh, I like that it's quick, but still a lot of relevant decisions on both sides. It doesn't feel like the game, even though it's a combo matchup, right? It doesn't feel like the game is just like flipping coins, so to speak. It wasn't always like this, for what's worth. I think the matchup has gotten a lot better ever since the printing of endurance, and to a lesser extent, the uh, the rediscovery of first Assassin's Trophy and then what later became Snuff Out. I'm gonna get some more water while our opponent is resolving Doomsday. All right, what do they have here? I don't have much anyway, so I don't think it really matters. I am going to fetch a basic, I guess. Actually, let's fetch a Bayou because that's pretty standard. I don't think it's gonna matter. Our hand is like irrelevant against theirs. Interesting. All right. Interesting line, but the alternative would have been like play turn one fetch and try to like dig one deep for endurance. I don't know if that's better. I don't think so, but I could be wrong. All right. The funny thing is, Blood Moon is randomly relevant in this matchup, uh, and hard for them to play around to. Actually, to be honest, I brought out the hoof because I'm thinking I'm gonna draw into something relevant, and it's like generally worked out for me. I don't think I want to invigorate here. The bog can come out, and the mortuary, the second one can come out because it's not gonna go that late. Actually, Fiend usually comes out in this matchup, and I board in Snuff Outs because it's hard for them to play around Endurance plus Snuff Out. And then the weakest cards remaining is probably just the Reclaimer. I think everything else looks reasonable. This is not an artisan matchup for what it's worth. Sure. Like I said, this is one of my most favorite matchups in Legacy at the moment, if not the most. I think it's pretty even too, for what it's worth. Let's see. Ring. I think I take their C. Well, actually, they have swords. That's like super annoying. So I seize their C's. They plow my swords. I don't think I want that. Um, I think I have to take ring here. Yeah, I have to take ring because of the swords. They on this state they probably take the endurance. I think they take anything but the hierarch. Reclaimer, it's actually not great in this matchup, but who knows? Maybe they're afraid of it. It's a little too fast for Reclaimer to be relevant. Um, yeah, I think might as well, right? So they don't instantly get value off of it. They want swords if they can. Looks like that's what they're gonna do. There's an argument to be made to lead with a hierarch there and like waste our opponent mana, but I don't think it changes too much to be honest. Because what ended up happening then is we would have 3 mana, but then our turn would be oof into hierarch anyways, and then they still swords the hierarch. I mean, they still swords the oof. So I don't think it actually changed anything there. Slight sequencing, you know, jumping the gun there. I'd probably attack first before playing the fetch. But if for some reason our opponent is playing opposition agent, that's like reason to play out the fetch there, I guess. Maybe there's a ring here. Sure. Or Lauren revealed. Question here is like, do I want to put that stuff back into the great library? Probably not. The best draw here would be a Blood Moon. Nope. Swords makes this matchup a lot harder. What's going on here? Why do they have like 5 lands and 2 petals? Sure. Ring, the interaction with Ring and Doomsday is pretty cool. It reminds me of like Frenzy when it came out. So they go to 6 here. We're probably going to Endurance and then Endurance pitch Endurance. I'm curious what pile they make. Maybe one with Force. I don't know. They could kill themselves. See, that's the other thing. That's like funny. They have 1 card in hand too, so I wonder what it could be. So we can figure out what they have here. I wonder if they would put removal. One, two, three. It looks like all the brainstorms are gone. 1 Force. Sure. 2 Force. Ugh, I do not want to see that. That is like, that is not the card I want to see. They screw up. Oh no, they're just made. Okay, I see what's going on. That is a pretty cool pile. All right, concede, I guess. All right, rough way to end the night, but you know, live and learn, right? All right, let's see who's on. Some morning modern challenge from Canister. Let's go raid the Ham TV, I guess. And then here are my socials again. Thank you for everyone for hanging out tonight.